No, seriously, just use whatever you want. Hey, my friends. Welcome back to Budget Lawns. Appreciate you joining me. Thank you to all my subscribers. If you're not subscribed, consider doing so. Hit that notification bell, leave me a thumbs up, comment, all that stuff. Oh, as promised, here we are. We're going to talk about Christmas lights some more. We just kind of briefly introduced things a couple weeks ago. But today we're going to answer just a few basic questions if you're starting to think about how you're going to light up the house for the holidays. Now, I know some of you are just totally against doing it before Thanksgiving, and I get that. That was me at one time. I said, no way in the world will I light my house up before Thanksgiving. That will become like a post-Thanksgiving tradition every year to flip the switch, but I've already thrown that way out the window because as much work as I put into this, I want it to be on for as long as possible. And at 3.5, 4 weeks, I think it was last year, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, just wasn't enough. So I'm already lit. Well, we're not lit right now, it's daylight out, but it will be lit tonight for sure. So I just kind of want to go over some of the beginner questions a lot of people have, and I think probably the most frequently asked one is, what size lights should I use? There is no hard and fast rule on that, folks. Use whatever you want to. If you Google things online, you're going to get all these explanations for why you should use this size or that size, and I say forget all that, because you know, I've got a small house and it sits pretty close to the street, and everything will tell you don't use C9 lights because they're way too big. Well, guess what? I've got C9 lights all along the ridge lines and the gutters, and I've got C9 lights all the way around the perimeter. I wanted C9 lights. I wanted the biggest ones I could get, so that's what I used. And I wanted color. You know, everybody's using white, it seems like these days, and I said, you know what, mine's gonna stick out like a sore thumb. I'm using colored lights because those were my favorite as a kid. And I mentioned in the last video that that's who I'm doing this for. I'm doing this for my kids. With a 1 and a 3-year-old, I want them to have super great memories of their house being lit up for Christmas when they get older. So I think, you know, thinking like a kid, that the colorful lights is gonna be the ticket. So I've got C9 lights all around the perimeter, gutters, roof lines. And I don't have C9 lights everywhere. I've got a hodgepodge of all different sizes of lights. Here along the garage and the front door and the front window, rocking the C6 lights. Same thing. Well, these are C6 or C7s, I think. The white ones up there, they're kind of hard to see since they're not lit up. But there's some C7s, I believe they are, and lots of miniature lights up there as well, along with miniature lights in many other places. Got the miniature ones here in the holly bush. I think there's like 6 strands in there. And this is where I really juiced it up this year. I've got like, gosh, I don't know. There's 13 miniature strands up there. The green ones, I think there's like 16 or 17 here in the flower bed. Kind of hard to see, but man, it looks awesome at night. So miniature lights everywhere, all multicolor. You got to be careful with these. These are not the LED ones. I can only string, it says on the box, like 5. But I think I found I can get like 6 or 7 together without really causing any problems. But I did get a little overzealous above the garage up there. And when I first put that up, I had like, I think it was, I don't know, like 11 or so strung together, all connected together, and blew the fuse. So if you get too greedy, you will blow a fuse, but if you've never replaced the fuse on a strand of Christmas lights, really not that hard. Just when I blew it, I knew I needed to go to the very first strand that was plugged into the extension cord and replace that one, and then it would all work after that. But it's really easy. Just looking at this, that one's not a good example. Oh, there it is. There we go. You just open that little thing there and push that back, pull the 2 fuses out that are in there, and replace it with some new ones. Simple, quick fix. So every time I get a new strand of lights, or a different strand of lights, I make sure I keep all the extra fuses and extra bulbs in the boxes, and then I put those into a box in my garage. So I have a box that matches every single style of light that I have on the lawn. That way I know if I need to go get more to match, that I can get the exact same one and keep building up the supply of that particular one for the future. Now sometimes, like my C9 lights, those are from Sam's Club. They've switched them a little bit, so the ones on the roof and the gutter are a little bit different than around the perimeter, but all from Sam's. So I'm just kind of slowly upgrading those as we need new ones. But those are all LED, so the difference between the LED and the other ones, you can plug so many strands of LEDs together without busting the fuses easily. So to kind of circle back to that, just be careful on how many you're putting together. Make sure you're running extension cords if they're not LEDs, and only putting, really you should just go with what the box recommends to prevent having too many problems. So back, we've got lots of miniature lights everywhere. The only white ones I have are these little trees that I've built in the lawn. These are pretty cool. This is I call this Santa's landing pad. I found that sign, Santa sleigh parking only, violators will be towed. Then here we've got some miniature lights, some red ones in the shape of a big X. And this is for my kids to think that that's how Santa's going to find their house. He's going to see that big X marks the spot, and that's where he'll land, because we don't have a chimney. So that was a hard one to explain to them. So that's his landing spot with the miniature lights there. And then some more white miniature lights here, little trees that I built. So how did I build these, and how did I do a lot of this other stuff? Well, that's going to be reserved for the next video. We're going to kind of go over some of my little tips and tricks to where to start your lights, how to run your extension cords, how to make everything real nice and clean and streamlined, which extension cords do I like, how did I build the trees, how did I do some of these things, because I think that's really a lot of the fun, is kind of figuring out the logistics of it and making it look not only really good when it's lit up, but really good by it not just being a sloppy job. So that'll be in the next video, so make sure you stick around for that. Kind of the last thing to talk about here, I've got some spotlights. Red one there, green one there, another red one right here shining on the entryway, another green one over on that fence over there. I've got lights on the fence as well. And then one more here for Santa's sleigh parking sign. It's real easy to use the spotlights to add some extra color to the house or fence or those big areas that you don't want to just put a lot of lights on. So highly recommend those. I just get the, you can get the cheap, hyper tough, what do you call it, a base for it at Walmart. Then these are just cheap LED colored lights from Walmart, I think it was. I mean, you don't have to go overboard on this stuff. One other way to add some easy color, red lights here and a green light up there. Wife made a beautiful wreath, little Santa to greet you at the door. So just think of those little ways that you can easily add the Christmas colors to the house without going just crazy with lights. I mean, it kind of looks like I've gone crazy here, but I hope I've kept it nice and clean and classy to a certain extent. At least that's my goal. But I'm noticing that every year it just kind of grows a few more legs. And you know, trying to do this fairly on a budget, just like I do my lawn. I was very blessed. A lot of these C9 lights around the perimeter were given to me from a friend, and he gave me like 10 strands that didn't want them anymore, so I gladly took them. Another easy way to save money on lights is if you have an idea for something you want to do the next year, try to get them at the end of the season. All the green ones above the house or above the garage, all those I picked up at the end of last year, the Christmas season, for like $1 a box, and they're originally like $4.99 or something like that. So easy ways you can save a few bucks if you just kind of think ahead. When it comes to a lot of the other things like the stakes for the perimeter or the gutter clips, I know you're going to find a lot of picky people that, oh, you got to have this certain clip or this certain stake. Oh, these are the best ones. You know what? I'm not picky on that. I only shop for this stuff at Lowe's. It's close to my house. It's convenient, saves me time. So really, whatever Lowe's has, I go with. I'm not going to go out of my way to do research on shingle and gutter clips or stakes to do around the perimeter of the lawn. But I think that's it. We've seen, yeah, I don't think I've missed anything. So I just kind of wanted to give you a non-lit tour of everything I've got. We'll go over some of the other details of, you know, the tips and tricks in the next video. And then after that, you know what, we should be ready to come out here when the sun goes down and everything's lit up to give you a peek at what it looks like. But I hope this gives you some good information, as you will maybe be spending part of your Thanksgiving break or the weekend after Thanksgiving getting everything ready to go outside. Hope this helps you out a little bit, and I hope to see you in the next one.